right away until we're ready to go. So I can see that we're going live, so I know I have the connection.
Hello, Randy.
We don't have to worry about
Hello, Brian.
talk. Yes, and then once they're ready to go, I will press that again.
Are we done yet?
And with it blinking, you know
That's
it
what I'm
blinks in the
thinking.
beginning.
Especially when I saw, no executive session tonight.
Yeah, so you can see here, it's black, it just has
Hopefully
our
the most
logo, that's what we
controversial
want.
will be the ending of the licenses.
So it cuts the video, cuts the sound. Once you're getting, not yet.
Okay.
You know, if we're getting close, so it probably will soon, yeah. This is the live. If you unmask and you're questioning, cause there's a lag, it's, you know, it's going through the internet, we can only make YouTube do so much. It'll kick you up to right where you are at this point in time, so you can see that it's fine. And then, yeah, just don't forget to record, because that's our audio backup if YouTube would go down for some reason.
Okay, so
We
you
still-
need to hit record.
I do.
Okay. I don't think I did that during the,
We'll be fine. So I am removing the mask. We are live, just so everyone knows. Press record and see.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Budget and Finance Committee meeting for Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. We are in order with all members in attendance. Item number 2 on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the Budget and Finance meeting of May 14th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee meeting of May 14th.
second?
We have a motion by Matter, second by Wells. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of the May 2024 check register and treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion for approval of the May 2024 check register and treasurer's report.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Wells, second by Matter. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 on the agenda is Resolution 24-13, accepting funds from the Washington County Roadway Shared Services Grant Program. This did come from the Board of Public Works with a recommendation to approve. I will make a motion that Village Board approve Resolution 24-13.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Wells. Any further discussion on this item? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is pay request number 3, water wastewater treatment plant tertiary filters and disinfection project for J.H. Hassinger in the amount of $31,350. This also came from Board of Public Works with a recommendation to approve.
I'll make a motion to recommend the board approve pay request number 3 in the amount of $31,350.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Wells, second by Matter. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is pay request number 5, State Highway 60 street lighting project for Will Surge in the amount of $35,140. Once again, this did come from Board of Public Works with a recommendation to approve.
I'll recommend approval of the pay request number 5 on the street lighting project to Will Surge in the amount of $35,140.40.
Second.
We have a motion by Matter, second by Wells. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is Resolution 24-16, resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $5,775,000 general obligation promissory notes, Series 2024A. With us this evening, we have Brian and Ariana from Ellers. The floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
That's good. All right. Thank you for having us tonight. We are here to present the results of the 2024A General Obligation Promissory Note that we've been discussing. As a reminder, the purpose of this is to pay for the cost of construction and remodeling for the Jackson Community Center. So prior to issuance, working with staff, the village did get this issue rated with Moody's. The rating was affirmed at an A1, which was the same rating as the issue issued in the past. It did qualify for insurance as well with Build America Mutual, which basically moves the issue to a rating 2 notches above that. So ultimately what that does is it helps improve the creditworthiness of the village to get better rates. So this morning we received 4 bids. The lowest bid came in at just over 4% at 4.0821%. And I'm sorry, I should clarify, we're looking at this page titled Competitive Sale Results, the executive summary. So it's the first page as you turn from the cover. So as I mentioned, the lowest bid came in just over 4%. In comparison to the pre-sale estimates you saw, those rates were at 4.67% for a true interest cost. Just to give a little context as to why those are so much higher than what we're seeing today. Earlier this year, there was a trend upwards in rates quite a bit. On the very last page of your packet, you'll see a bond buyer index trend, which shows rates over the past couple of years. So you can see that trend over the past few months in particular. But based on what's happened in the market the last few weeks, it's actually leveled off, which is why you're seeing rates lower than what we initially had estimated. So that's obviously great news, saves in costs in the long run. One other thing to note, because there was a competitive bid process and we had 4 bidders, there was quite a wide spread of interest. So had we not had multiple bids come in, the highest bid would have been about $80,000 higher in total interest than that lowest bidder where you were able to take. So again, that's a benefit of having a competitive sale done here. In total, we received a reoffering premium to the bid. Ultimately, we were able to use that to downsize the issue as well as to pay some of the interest from your first year's payment. So in total, rather than having to issue $5.775 million in notes, we were able to issue $5.695 million in notes. Additionally, as mentioned, about $83,000 was used to go towards your first year's interest payment in 2025. So in total, over the life of the loan, it's just about $525,000 less than what was shown in the pre-sale estimates for total principal and interest costs. So you'll see that reflected in Table 2 if you wanted to look at that in further detail. Any questions on the premium or structure of the downsize overall?
I just have a question on that insurance that you were talking about. Have we ever had that on any of the borrowings before?
Brian, do you know?
I'm not entirely sure. I could look that up to see. What we're noticing is anything that's not AA is getting and they qualify for insurance. They are getting it. So I'm thinking it's something from the underwriting community, right, as kind of a indicator of wanting to have that insurance as a part of it. So I've seen it on 100% of the deals so far this calendar year where it's not a AA rating, is they'll boost the rating through that. Yep.
So to kind of put it in perspective in my world, is it kind of like a PMI insurance that mitigates the risk for that?
Pretty much.
Kind of something like that?
Yeah, you could, as the village, go out and buy insurance, and what we call that is like paying points, right? So you'd be basically paying ahead for a higher credit in the hopes of getting lower interest rates. It's just the underwriters doing it and paying for it in most instances. It's gone away since the interest rates environment so low. It's like the margins, right, don't make sense. I'm guessing as interest rates creep up, that's why we're seeing it more and more.
Okay.
So you probably haven't gotten it for a while, is my guess.
Because of the rate environment.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you. Any other questions? You have anything else to add?
Nope. All of the tables attached are just there for your reference. They're the same tables that we went through at the pre-sale meeting a few weeks back. Basically, any difference in value you'll see reflected there is all lower as a result of the lower interest rate and the reoffering premium as discussed.
Okay. Mrs. Heitke?
Oh, thank you very much. The record reflect a name change. I wanted to bring something up to the Budget and Finance Committee as you are more involved stewards of financial decisions of the village. that in the project history known as the community center considerations, we've had in-depth conversations about the design, the contracts of the expansion, and then lastly, the financing of it. And something that I wasn't recognizing during our last monthly meeting and simply want to bring forward as a learning opportunity on my end and bringing it forward to you all is to understand that you are all the policy makers in this setting, the recommending body to the board. But when there might have been an instance last month where the resolution to set the sale, not to award the contract or to authorize staff to have it designed, setting the sale had to do with the decision of the body for the financing plan. In the financing plan, there was options 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C. In that setting, when the financing plan was authorized, we then carried it forward via the resolution last month. And it was a very tight margin that resolution passed. And I don't want the information today to be presented as if that's problematic for a policy-making body to do that. The impact, though, of that action on the underwriting community is for that, through that lens, they see a community say, we want this financing plan, show me the resolution, and when it comes time for that same body that approved the financing plan to approve the resolution, to not have that happen sends a signal to the financial side of the project, not the contract or the support for it. It sort of sends a mixed signal to that underwriting and the bond community that maybe we don't want to take on debt. Therefore, in the future, we don't anticipate any issues issuing, but in the future, if we want to go out for debt again, I wouldn't want the board to have to experience any issues issuing, again, I can't figure out different words, without understanding or it being intentional. So when we're considering taking on financing for the project, it's okay to say, I don't necessarily agree with the project, but if we did have agreement on the financing plan and then we didn't on the resolution for it, we should talk about whether the financing plan itself is matching where we had that buy-in or if it's not. Staff need to know that. I don't think that's at play for here. I think the financing plan staff was told to go procure and bring forward matched. But in the future, I just want our elected officials to understand what could occur if we approve a financing plan and then basically deny the sale of bonds and how that lens works from the underwriting side of things. So certainly not meant to be a moment where there's any sort of concern other than I wanted to share that with you all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, I will make a motion to recommend Village Board approve Resolution 2416.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Wells. Any further discussion on this item? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 on the agenda is the 2024 schedule to prepare the 2025 municipal budget and update the financial management plan. You want to tee that up a little bit?
Sure. On an annual basis, we come forward as staff and put together what could be our cadence for committee and board review of proposed budgets. In 2023, we outdid ourselves and pursued both a municipal budget process in tandem with a financial management plan. We this year are proposing the same process occur where we are updating the financial management plan while we're budgeting. The reason is because we have such a sort of reestablishment of our assessed value via the reassessment. When you see big changes in an otherwise very assumed heavy environment like an FMP, you want to do a refresh and make sure you're really on target with what you had forecasted. And so the memo that you all have and the board will have captures, it's 5 quick points, but it enumerates the dates we would convene these meetings, the time. You see there are special meetings of the board, which is similar to how we did pursue the FMP last year, but you don't actually see that working committee piece anymore. We think that the board is the most understanding right now of what was decided last year. Updating it is probably efficient to pair with that level of understanding that we could do so between staff and directly with the board. So that's my pitch to the committee and the board, is we adhere to this plan as it speaks to August FMP capital planning, September governmental funds review. That's when we have that levy limit test. We have some net new construction numbers known as well, so we can see how we're positioning ourselves. Followed by October utilities plan review at the regular board meeting. I should mention that's not a special meeting as of yet, but we could pivot if we feel it's warranted. And we conclude with in October what our traditional budget workshop is referenced as, and followed by adoption in November of both a financial management plan update and a 2025 series of budgets. Technically, it's for enterprise funds, governmental funds, and special revenue funds that we otherwise just call the budget. So that's the tee up.
Yeah.
Long-winded, sorry.
No, that's good. So in a nutshell, the process will look very similar to what it was last year with Ellers and the financial management plan and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments?
Randy benefits being on the Board of Public Works because those special meetings are right after the committee. But just let us know if this plan doesn't work out logistically, we can come back.
I mean, I think it looks fine to me if you guys are in agreement. So, all right. Thank you. Item number 9 on the agenda, citizens or village staff to address the Budget and Finance Committee. Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing no one, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Heckendorf, second by Wells to adjourn. All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming.